Well, good morning everybody. I'm Colin, this is Bo, and this is Rosemary Cottage Garden. Well, it's a bit of a wet morning this morning. It's wet, cold. Yep, we've dropped back in temperature. I suppose that's what we've got to expect. We're the UK after all. But I thought, as it's wet outside at the moment, I'll show you what's going on inside. Now, I've never had any success with peppers. Well, I tell a lie, I've had one pepper in the past. Look at this. How's about this for peppers? They are loaded. They're in the kitchen window and I'm really excited about these. They are loaded with peppers. I've never seen so many peppers on any pepper plants I've ever had. This one there, I don't know what's going on here. It went straight up. I've cut the top off and it's now beginning to sprout. So hopefully that one is going to end up like these, but these are sweet peppers. Now these are yellow, so I suppose I've got to wait for them to turn yellow. And these are red. So I need to look up a bit more because I'm not sure. Whoops, I'm not sure quite what goes on there. But I think I can take them off this colour and use them. I'll look into it. Perhaps if you've done peppers, you can let me know. Do I have to wait for them to go yellow and red, or can I take them off green? Because they're a good size already, some of them. Can I take them off green and use them green? Right, well, as it's still raining quite hard out there at the moment, let's have a look at the indoor plants. Follow me. We'll come back to these ones in a moment. So we'll go into the sitting room, and the first ones we come to are a trio of bromeliads. Nice and easy to look after. They don't like a lot of bright sun. The bromeliads are typical forest dwelling plants, so the only thing they ask is a bit of liquid feed every so often, and keep some water in these funnels. That's what keeps them alive, is the water in the funnels. Next door to that is an avocado. Now this is the avocado which I planted the seed of at the beginning of the year, and that is now coming up for 2 foot tall and looking nice and healthy. It's not in its main place it's staying. It's going to get moved. I think it's got a little bit of a draft there, so that's being moved. Then we come up here and we come up to this little, what I call, it's not that little, but it's a terracotta saucer pot, and in there we have a Gasteria lilliputans, which is this one here. Next door to that, a fishbone cacti. Fishbone because of the way the leaves are. And then a Robutia muscula. So that one's nice. It's nice and furry. And just here, it's actually beginning to set a shoot. So we'll come over. Bo's in his usual place, fast asleep. Let's have a look at the aloe vera. Now this aloe vera just gets better and better. As you can tell if you've seen my previous videos, you'll know that the table was along the front of the window there, and all the plants were on the table. they've now been moved and spread around. So yes, there is the aloe vera, which is really good. Coming over to the window, we've got Christmas cacti. Now there's a little cacti behind. I keep meaning to look it up and see what it is, but never seem to get round to doing it. Then we've got this beast. It's a Mammillaria elongata. Now that is really spiteful. Very sharp, very spiteful, and it's grown well. It started off as one. That one there was the main one, and it's gradually over time, over the last 18 months, it's been throwing out all these side shoots and looking really, really good. Next door to that, we have a silken pincushion cacti. Now don't let it fool you. Those spikes, those spines, I should say, are not user friendly. That's one that died off after it spiked me. When they spike you, they literally just fall apart and leave themselves attached to you. Then you're there with tweezers, unhooking yourself and the body of the old cacti from you. But it doesn't affect the cacti at all. Christmas rose again. This is the main Christmas rose, the one which I've take all the cuttings from. That's a cutting of this main one, and as you can see, it's coming out in flower yet again. It's flowered already about twice this year. Last year it flowered about 5 times, and this little one is also going to start flowering again. So really happy with that. The Calantia there. Now I've had these before, never been able to keep them longer than about 6-7 weeks. This one, touch wood, is still going after best part of nearly 3 years. And it's flowered prolifically this year, so I'm hoping that it's going to carry on. Then we've got the African milk tree, or it's a euphorbia. So you can mostly gather why it's called a milk tree, because euphorbias, you have to remember with euphorbias, they are quite poisonous. Now, just like the euphorbia you can find in the gardens over here, we've got euphorbias growing wild in this country. Now, with any euphorbia, if you were to break a branch or a stem off or snap the plant off, it produces a milky substance. Now that substance is corrosive. You don't really want it on your skin. If you get it on your skin, wash it off as quickly as possible. Definitely don't get it in your mouth. Definitely don't get it in your eyes. It can cause severe burns, and obviously if it goes in your eyes, you could end up, apparently I've been told, you can end up blind. So it's not something to play with. Now this one here is a Cirrus peruvianus Monceros cristata. Now that's a big name for it. I basically just call it a bumble cacti because it's just a big mass of bumps of a cacti. So I call it a bumble cacti for ease, because the name is so long. Then we've got a nice jade plant next door to us here. Looking really good, growing really well. Very pleased with that. So that's the plants in here. And they're all looking good. So what we'll do, we'll go out into the hallway and have a look, see what's going on out here. Now, spider plants. Yep. The only thing you need to do with these is every so often just come along, take off any of the dead leaves, because you don't want the dead leaves in there still. You want to take those out. I just pull them out, they come out quite easily, and that tidies them up. This one is starting to send out some little plantlets. They're not doing too bad. Yeah. I've had one of these ferns in the past and it didn't survive long, but this one is doing quite well. It seems to have found its little niche here, and yeah, it's happy. The two palms, yeah, no, I keep them purely out of, you know, hope that they will do something eventually, but they don't seem to grow much. This one's not really grown that much taller than when I bought it, and this one's not really grown taller at all. The stem has got thicker, but it's just not growing tall. And this is looking really good. The name at the moment, I'm sorry, escapes me, but I'll come back with that and I'll put it on the actual screen. And then we've got this one, which there again doesn't seem to really want to do much. It's in the right conditions apparently, according to the internet, but it's just not really doing much at all. So I'm not really happy with this, but there you go. We can't have it always, can we? And the last one in the hallway is this one, which is a Sprenger's asparagus fern. There again, it doesn't do much. My sister's got one which is now, it's several decades old now, and it's massive. This one, yes, it is throwing out some long strands. In fact, that one is growing out some very long strands, but it's not pushing up. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. Oh, well, I thought I'd have a tidy up of the pepper plants today. So take some of these lower leaves off, which we don't need. Out to let some air through, and also put some life into these up here. Now, there's one in the middle here which actually wastes itself, so there's not a lot I can do about that, but I think that's all I need to do on this one. I think I'll take that one off and maybe that one off. Right, let me put this one back and I'll bring my next one. Oh, so this is the next one. I want it to produce good fruit, so I'm going to take some of the excess growth off so that it can put the goodness of the feed it gets into the fruits. So I'm not going to take anything off the tops. I'm just going to make sure there's enough airflow going through it that it's not going to be problems. I'm going to take that one out and leave those there. Now I might take that one out as well in the centre. That gives it we all hear about goblet shapes for this, goblet shapes for that. Well, yeah, I can see why. And basically I'm going for a goblet shape here. I want the air to go through it. I want it to be able to breathe. And yeah, so now we need a stick to go through to help to keep it upright. So we'll put that one there, and we'll get on with the next one. So we now come to this one. I'm going to take some of these bottom leaves off, clear the bottom of the stem, try and encourage it to bush out more. As you can see, it's starting to bush out, and there's actually, believe it or not, there's actually a couple of little flowers in there. I'm hoping that it's going to bush out okay and be fine. Now I'm going to put a cane in here as well. I'm not putting the cane directly down against the stem. I'm leaving a gap, about 2-finger gap, between the stem of the plant and the cane, so it doesn't damage the roots. And at the moment I've just done it so the plant leans against it. Now if it needs stringing, then I'll string them, but otherwise they should be perfectly okay like this. And hopefully this one will come to seed. But I'm going to get on and do the other two, because you've seen me do with 2 of the big ones, so I'm going to do the other 2 and I'll come back to you once I've done that. Right, so that's now done. I've pruned them out as best I know. Perhaps you know better than me how to do it. If you do, then let me know. How do you treat your peppers as they grow? Do you thin them out? Do you remove the bottom growth so that it lets the top growth, which is where in my case, where all the peppers are, all the goodness goes to the peppers? Do you top them? Do you cut them off at a certain height, or do you just let them carry on growing up? I know peppers can grow to a fairly good height. I'm hoping to keep these going for as long as possible. I know some people try to overwinter them. Who knows? If I can overwinter them indoors, I'll overwinter them indoors. They're very happy in the kitchen window, so let's see how it goes. Okay, so I'm now going to give them a good water and tomato feed. I use tomato feed for most things, to be honest. It's a fairly good general purpose fertiliser for just about every plant which I've got, and even some non-pot plants. Plants in the ground I normally give bloodfish and bone meal, and with some of them like the Mizubazu bananas, then I'll give a chicken pellet feed as well. But these I'm going to now give them a good watering, good liquid feed, and that's another job done and out of the way. So I've moved on to the avocado, which was in the sitting room, and brought it out into the kitchen. I'm going to leave it on the middle of the table here. It gets the light from the window, quite a good bit of light from the window. It had some browning leaves here, so I've taken them off. Now I've looked, all the rest in beautiful condition, lovely bright. The soil's nice and moist. I've looked, and it does say that avocados this time of year in their natural habitat do start dropping leaves. They do start going brown, they do start dropping. So I'm not going to worry too much. It says not to worry. Keep the soil moist, which it is. If I find that more leaves start going a bit brown, then I'll water a bit more often. They're recommending watering every second day. Well, I at the moment water about once every 5 days. So we'll see. So for now, I'm going to leave the avocado at that. I'm going to go and get the ginger, and we'll have a look at the ginger plant. Well, here's my ginger. Now, if any of you have grown ginger, let me know what you think. The soil is not dry, but it's not wet. Is it lack of water? Should I be watering it more? It only sent up 3 shoots. 2, they didn't rot off, they just fell away. This one doesn't look too brilliant. There is another little shoot just coming there. So should I water it more? What do you think? So if you've grown ginger, tell me what you think and what I should do. Now I'm in the greenhouse. Just having a look at the tomatoes. They all look quite good. There's not a lot of tomatoes on them, so I'm a bit upset about that, but there you are. I suppose it's the year we've had. Or am I expecting too much? There are more flowers coming on. Perhaps I'm expecting too much. I thought there'd be more tomatoes. I've had more tomatoes in previous years. This year I side shooted them all. One or two did get away. That's not a side shoot, that's an actual tomato plant. I would just do that. I've just taken the bottom leaves off so that allows more light through. There's some chives down along the base there, and give them a good feed of tomato feed. Perhaps I'm expecting too much. Has your tomatoes got more tomatoes on? I don't know. Right, well, it's been a wet, miserable morning. I'm in the process of sorting the greenhouse out. All the succulents are looking good, the Ionium especially. And in the guttering, aluminium guttering, I've got a mescaline mix seeds sown. I think I might put a few more down here to follow on behind them. So it's looking good. Pass is looking good. Radishes are up. This parsley up here isn't looking as good as that one. The this mint, this Korean mint, is looking really good. It's got some nice flowers. The perpetual onions, cut and come again, aren't bad. Three rows of carrots and 3 rows of beetroot have just come through. Now this is where it comes, you should label. I can't remember what I put into these two. In here is a pepper. I'm going to put it back in the greenhouse because the weather's turned again cold. But otherwise, the garden's looking quite good. The olive, this one is absolutely smothered in flowers. Now when you look about pruning of them, there seems to be a lot of myth about them. It says you can prune up to early summer. Well, as it's still early summer, so I've just basically done a little prune to tidy it up. This one here has only got a couple of flowers on it, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with that one. But they've had a good feed, and as I say, they've been trimmed up. I think I may have missed trimming that one last year. The Musabaju banana has come back with loads of pups. Well, the cabbages are more like cabbage leaves on stalks. There you go. Parsnips are okay. The other parsnips and the red beans over there are okay. Spring onions are doing fantastic. I've got more spring onions than I can eat. Beetroot is doing well, so quite happy with that. And this is the main crop potatoes. They're already beginning to die off, so yeah, it's about that time. Over there, well, the mint, the popping sweet corn, and some courgettes. There's a couple of tomatoes in there. They're doing really well as well, and it's starting to rain again, so back into the greenhouse. Goes on a cushion underneath the table. Auntie Boat, now he's happy, and I'm going to have a look and see what I'm going to sow. So let's have a look. We've got some more red ruble kale, mesclun seed mix, turnips, radishes, salad onions, some more beetroot, and some more carrots. These are Nance 5, and I've done some sprouting seeds of coriander, put in there just an experiment, some watercress, some mixed brassicas, and in here there's some rocket and endives. Now I'm doing them as an experiment. I know the coriander has been a failure on previous attempts. It doesn't seem to take off very well, but this time I've actually flooded the whole thing. So I'm hoping that flooding the seed beds, the seed trays completely, is going to get them going. So watch this space. So what do you do when you get tomato drop? When the tomatoes drop off early? Well, do you pick them up, throw them away, or do you do what I'm going to do? Yeah, okay, they're not very big, but they're as big as some of the small little tomatoes you buy in packs in the supermarkets. So I'm going to put them on the top shelf in the indoor greenhouse, in the greenhouse, and see if they'll ripen okay. I can't see why they won't, so we'll see what happens. Well, I've just sown some coleus, we used to flame dancer, see whether they come through, and I've also sown some of these sprouting peas. There are the pea shoots, so good addition to a salad green mix. I'm now going to sow some more beetroot, bolt hardy. I know I've got quite a few beetroot out there. I want to be able to jar beetroot this year, and even possibly slice it and see about whether you can dry it. I've not tried drying beetroot before, so it's going to be a good trial to see. So we'll go from there. So that's 2 rows of beetroot sown, 2 washing up bowls. The golden thyme, which didn't look too good earlier this year, it's come back nicely, and this small normal thyme is not doing bad. The garlic chives are looking good. These blackberry cuttings I've got to now separate and pot on separately. And yeah, the yucca's in flower again.